To summarize Small Wonders Big Gains, the preschool autism classroom, I would start off by talking about the little girl named Grace. Grace was nonverbal, from what her mother stated in the video, and she apparently would pitch fits or pout or what have you, scream whenever she didn't get what she wanted to out in a verbal way. She was nonverbal at the beginning, and thanks to the pack, she has really blossomed. Her mother is so excited about her going from this pack preschool to a regular kindergarten, and now that she has gone through this program, her mother feels that she is ready and she is capable of succeeding in a regular kindergarten classroom. We have a teacher named Miss Christie who has worked with Grace over the years, and she tells us that some of the things that they go through with the students is to do systematic teaching. That is, they do things over and over again so that the boys and girls can learn in a repeating manner. One of the things that I noticed, she would sit the children down. She guided them to sit down, and she would even take her hands and fix it to where she would cross the boys' legs. And I thought that was really interesting to just kind of push them a little bit further each time. She also played a game with Grace and another little boy, and the outcome was that Grace lost, and instead of pitching a fit, Miss Christie asked Grace, she says, "What do we say when we finish a game?" And I heard Grace say, "Good game." And Miss Christie said, "Yes, good game." And so that teaches the children that even though you don't get an outcome that you would have wanted, you still have to have the respect of the other person to acknowledge the fact that things don't always work out the way you want. And we have to accept letdowns such as that. Something else that was pointed out in the video was that goal setting is a really huge part of PAC. This allows the student to know that there are rewards for them. And because the ratio between the teachers and the students are so small, it allows more one-on-one work to be done, which is crucial for children with autism and other disabilities. It provides that attention that the instructor can give so that he or she can see what more needs to be worked on in order to achieve a specific goal that is set for that child. Grace's mother made a very valid point about this. She stated that parents do have a say. This is not one-sided. It's not the job of the instructors to determine alone what is right and wrong for that child. The parents have to agree. Center time is spoken about at 10:41 of the video, and I connected that with both authentic assessment as well as child-focused monitoring. And the reason why I chose those was that with the authentic assessment and child monitoring, they're working closely with the child, they're observing what the child is doing, and they're making notes about what the child is doing. When I think of play-based assessment, on page 128 of our textbooks, it talks about that. I think of when, again, Miss Christie was playing the game with the children, it allowed her to direct Grace, letting her know that she can handle different situations regardless of how she feels about that situation. You don't have to be that upset about certain things, because bad things are going to happen and you're going to have to deal with those feelings. Functional skills are something that I connected. That was at 142, page 142 of the textbook, and it was at 9:54 of the video, and that was where the children were sitting around the table eating, and Miss Christie was encouraging the little boy about his eating. She goes, "Oh, wow, way to go on the chewing." And that is a skill that he's going to have to continue throughout his lifetime. So that was the reason why I chose that. On page 126 of the video, we're shown a specific concept or a skill. And Miss Christie, once again, where she had the little boy cross his legs, she reiterated what she wanted the boy to do. And that's something that he's going to have to learn to do throughout his lifetime. When I thought about the norm reference tests, I thought about where Miss Christie and the other teachers were around the table doing arts and crafts, and they actually took the children's hands and they kind of guided some of them, whereas some of the older students understood the directions and they followed them. This was relevant in the video at 6:39. When I saw that, I kind of got the feeling that the older children who had been through the process more were able to kind of maybe guide the younger children in their behaviors. I pointed out about the interviews. On page 128 in our text, we see that mentioned, and even though the video was not a total interview like we normally would think of it, I do feel like throughout the video there was a interview process. One of the first ones was where the instructor was asking Grace, or the other little girl, what's the next letter when you're trying to spell person? And she picked up the R, and she said R, and he agreed with her. That was kind of a guided interview, but some of the other portions of the video was kind of an interview too. It gave the instructor time to see what the student had learned and kind of give them a process of where they were going to follow through. Overall, I enjoyed the video. I thought it was very informative. I had never heard of PAC before, and this gave me an opportunity to see that the instructors may be repeating themselves a lot, or maybe a little bit more forceful in some areas than not. But instructors do need to be forceful. They're not there to make friends with the student. They're there to guide them and instruct them and hopefully get them prepared for a real kindergarten class.